Sam, how far back do mortgage providers look back at your statements and what are the major red flags?
Yeah, that's a really good question actually, Sophie. So there's two things that we need to look at there. One is that for most mortgages, lenders, underwriters, they'll ask for 3 months bank statements just so they can have a look at your financial conduct. They're looking for things like, are you spending a lot of money on gambling and all that sort of stuff. The other thing that we need to be looking at is proof of deposit. Now, a lender can go back as far as they want when it comes to that. We've had lenders that have asked for 12 months bank statements to see the build-up of the funds that are going to be used for a deposit. It's all to do with anti-money laundering, and lenders have a duty of care to ensure that they feel comfortable that they know that the origin of the funds that you're using for your deposit are not from an illegal source, basically.
Sam, over the years, the one thing that bugs me is when buyers come up with their mates who are brokers, and at the end of the day, it turns out to be the most annoying thing ever. We don't answer the phone. What can you offer my clients that other brokers can't offer my clients?
I knew you put me on the spot with this one, Sammy. So a lot of people ask me this question, and obviously the first thing to look at is the broker going to get the best deal for that client? And in reality, every broker should be doing that. That for me is like a fundamental. It's not a differentiator. For me, it's all about service and value that you can give. So does your broker actually understand, if you're an investor, what your property strategy is? Do they understand the market? Are they up to date with what's going on? Which lenders are doing what, where and how? In addition to that, the big one for me is actually availability of people to be able to speak to when you've got a problem. I actually have more support staff in my company than we do brokers. And the reason for that is that the brokers can spend their time talking to clients and talking to lenders, and the support staff are there to chase everyone to get stuff done in the background.
Sam, what is a mortgage in principle and can this be revoked?
Yeah, awesome question. Let's split that into two. Let's talk about residential versus buy-to-let. Residential, it's the lender's way of saying to you, we are happy to lend you a certain amount of money based on your income versus your expenditure. Your surplus income is enough to warrant us lending you this amount of money. So it's proof to you as an agent that they can afford to buy the property that you're selling. From a buy-to-let point of view, it's not really worth as much, in my humble opinion, because really it's just there to ensure that all the figures stack up. Your rental income that's going to be coming in is enough to warrant the loan amount that you want. In reality, it's more to do with the property rather than the individual at that stage. So generally speaking, you probably don't need a decision principle if it's going to be a buy-to-let. We'll get an offer accepted, subject to proof of funds, and then provide that afterwards.
So Sam, we've noticed that a lot of buyers have been pulling out due to the mortgage rates changing or the mortgage is being cancelled. How long do you think this is going to last?
So at the moment, rates are actually steadily coming down. So I think a lot of people are pulling out of purchases or they're holding back because of actually wanting to go back to the start and find better rates because they're changing on a daily basis. In addition to that, because there's a lot of volatility in the market, a lot of lenders are actually putting time frames on how quickly you need to go from application to completion. And if you don't hit that time frame, they're going to potentially pull your offer and tell you that you need to go with whatever rates they currently have rather than the ones you applied with.
The housing interest rate has obviously gone up recently. Do you see a time in the next few years when that rate might go back to what it was?
Yeah, awesome question. I think we have to remember that for the last decade or so, we have had the best rates ever. So comparing any time to that is going to be difficult. I think we're in a new norm now. If you go back sort of 20, 30 years, then we had rates that were stupidly high, 10, 11, 15%. We're not going to be going to that sort of level, but I do think that we've reached a new norm now where realistically, if you're a residential buyer, you've got to be able to afford a rate of at least 3.5% to maybe 4.5%. Things are stabilising a little bit, so a few bits are coming down, a few bits are going up, but I reckon this is pretty much where we're going to be for the next couple of years.